Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Foocast. My name is Finn and this time I am joined by Dylan. How's it going, man?
Yes.
Dude,
Good.
we have not seen you since episode 3 of the podcast, right? And
Yep.
this is episode 21, so it has been a hot minute.
Yep.
Like the last time you were on, what did we speak about? It was what we'd want to see in a Star Wars game, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
That was like back in February, so it's been a while, but I have to say this, right? If there's any cast that I've brought you onto, this is probably the best possible one you could have made a comeback on, because I'm just thinking about it now, right? Besides me, you're probably the most go-to person who I talk about horror movies with. Like anything Friday the 13th, anything Halloween, you'd know about it, right? Like,
Yep.
the amount of times where we've sat there on Xbox late at night just going on and on about Aliens or Predator or just something related to that, right? So if there was anyone I wanted to speak to about anything horror related, it's you probably. So, that being said, what were you going to say, sorry?
I just said most likely.
Yeah. So, that being said, Halloween Kills. Oh boy. We got a new trailer.
Its first trailer finally released about a week ago.
I know. Oh, dude. Okay, I'm gonna be honest for a second. My hype has gone down just a little bit, but that's the case with everything that was meant to come out in 2020. It's because we've seen a little bit of footage, and it's partly because, you know, when it's like Black Widow, for example. I was excited about that, and the amount of time that's been pushed back, and you know what I mean? Yeah. So I am still excited about it, and the trailer, dude, it looks
amazing.
It looks so good. Like, I mean, okay, where do we start? It looks like it's picking up directly after Halloween 2018.
That's what I noticed. It's picking up literally right after. It's literally taking place in the same night. So
Yeah.
it's like probably like a little reference to the original two movies, which took place in the exact same night.
Yeah, I haven't actually seen Halloween 2. You know, the one that's no longer canon, the one's back in, you know, the one that was like a direct sequel to one back in the day, right? Have you seen that movie?
Then, I've seen all the Halloween movies.
Nice, this is why I brought you in here, man. Is there anything from Halloween 2 that they're sort of putting their own sort of spin-off, so it's kind of... Like, I know that in Halloween 2 there's a segment in a hospital, and there's a hospital in this movie.
Yes. Yeah, like this movie's like taking place, or not taking place in a hospital, but it's going to be in a hospital a little bit.
Yes.
Which does happen in Halloween 2. It's in the same, like it's the final scene of Halloween 2 takes place in a hospital.
Yeah. So do you think there's elements that they've taken from Halloween 2 where it's like, for example, you look at 2018's Halloween, and that's sort of like a kind of a remake of the original. Do you think they'd kind of do the same with the last...
I did notice that in a scene, do you know when he goes to that diner and he smashes the head of that one lady and then stabs the other one with a light pole?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's most likely a reference to the diner scene from Halloween 4.
Uh-huh.
When it doesn't happen on screen, but Michael does kill people in that diner.
Mm-hmm.
And the doctor who cared for Michael in the original movies went to that hospital, and he saw a vision of Michael that wasn't actually there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I feel like that's possibly a little reference to that scene.
Yeah. Like, it's cool how they're taking little moments from other movies and are sort of referencing in this new timeline sort of thing.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool. And that's not the only reference we got. I've only seen the original and the 2018 version, right? And I still got one reference. That's because I think I've just seen like the front cover of Halloween 3, and there was a few dead bodies in the trailer. I think you mentioned this a few days ago as well, where the masks
I mentioned it a few days ago.
Yeah, the masks on the dead bodies, they're like the same mask from Season of the Witch.
Halloween 3.
Now I think that's really cool, because Season of the Witch, that has like nothing to do with Michael Myers or anything, but the fact that they could have just chosen any random mask from anything, right? For anything Halloween related.
reference to something made in the same franchise.
Yeah, I think that's really cool, to be fair. I really do like that idea. That's generally like something that you and me would come up with, where it'd be like, oh, imagine if there'll be a reference where there'll be a bunch of dead bodies and some of them are wearing the mask from Halloween 3. I really like that.
Yeah.
That's a nice little thing to stick in the trailer as well. I do really dig that. I think my actually, I'm going to ask you this. What was your favourite part of the trailer?
My favourite part in the trailer, could go to a few scenes.
Mm-hmm.
I personally really enjoyed the glimpses of the fight scene between Michael and the firemen.
Yeah, that bit was probably my favourite as well.
Because it also probably has my favourite kill that's going to be involved in the movie, of the fireman getting buzzsawed in the head.
Oh yeah, right in the face.
Yep.
I think that my favourite scene out of the trailer is all these firemen are there rushing to like help people, because obviously they don't know that they're literally about to rescue the boogeyman, who's literally about to kill them anyways, right? It's freaking awesome just to see this burning building and Michael Myers' demonic face, because half the time you know it's a mask, but because it is literally just a face, you see that mask as his face, don't you? Kind of. I see it that way. And you just see this face and this figure just emerge out and just holds his axe. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like, because it gives you a reason to why he sort of escaped. Like, it could just be like, wait, how did he survive the fire? You know, at the end of the movie where you see like a glimpse and he's not there, you'd be like, wait, how did he survive the fire?
Yeah,
and,
like, did he get out or something somehow?
Yeah, and I actually kind of like this. Like, there's sort of a reason why he's escaped. Like, they could always make it say that, oh, Michael just escaped, but they've done that before in other movies and stuff, so...
Yeah, and for this, they're actually showing him escaping.
Yeah, I really like that, and it's the fact that it was just like, give me your hand, and you just see a hand pop out, and then that's obviously Michael's into it.
It's obvious, because you can see it's definitely not a firefighter's hand.
Yeah, it's definitely like a skin hand with like one of those jumpsuits on it.
Yeah.
And it's freaking cool to see him just emerge, and all the firefighters just stand around, they just stare at him like, what the hell is that? And he's just massacring these dudes.
Massacres them.
Yeah, I think something that I'm going to have to accept is, because I think, I really did like the 2018 version. I didn't think it was, anywhere near as amazing as the original, but I did think it was, think it was a really great sequel. And do you know what I mean by it's very modernized, where it's very, the studio's just like, oh yeah, we're gonna have a lot of slasher kills, and like, it's more relying on like the scare factor and the gore factor rather than like the suspense.
Yeah, like, this actually reminds me of, in Halloween 2018, they rarely had any scenes that were, like, unexpected.
Uh-huh.
But, that reminded me of the scene, where the teenage girl was babysitting, the boy.
Uh-huh.
And she goes into his bedroom to see if he's alright, and then she gets grabbed by Michael and stabbed.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't expect that. You didn't expect him to be in the closet and then just come out and stab.
Yeah. It's like there was a mixture of, how it worked back in 1978, and there was a lot of just, because like there was a whole big sequence where there was like one big take following Michael where he was just going on a big killing spree. While that was amazing, it's like I'd prefer the more like suspense besides it. So I think I'm just gonna have to just accept the fact that that's what attracts people these days, you know. Like, I think the studio's just gonna like the typical teen or horror fan, they're just gonna want to see like everyone, like loads of people just getting cut up and stabbed, and it's like the gore. So
yeah,
I think I'm just gonna have to accept that. While that's good, I just prefer the other thing. But like, I'm not gonna complain about Michael Myers just ripping people apart, you know, just absolutely just fucking massacring dudes.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna complain. I've seen, here's something I want to ask you, right? Because, you know, Michael Myers was very, how do I put this? It's like, take the original for example, right? It's just him, like,
It's eerie.
yeah, it's eerie on his prey, and like in this one, he's like full on walking towards a bunch of dudes, just taking them all out.
Yeah, like in the original, obviously, which obviously being set in 1978, you're gonna have limits to what you have access to, and what you can really do.
Mm-hmm.
Which even back then, John Carpenter making that movie the way he did was marvelous.
Yeah.
And this movie, it's taking the like action aspect of like Michael just going at people to a whole new level, because Michael has never actually taken on multiple people at one time.
Yeah.
Except for I guess you could say in Halloween 4, when he was being hunted down by the city, and he got gunned down by a bunch of rednecks and fell into a well.
Yeah.
And that also makes I also like how they basically they're gonna have the whole town in this movie go after Michael as well.
Yeah, because I do like how it just showed that everyone's just had enough of him, you know, and you know how in the original it was just sort of just like, who? Like, no one really knew about him other than like the victims, and they die like 2 seconds after, right? Everyone's aware of him. You know, like in Freddy vs. Jason, where everyone's aware of Freddy. It's like everyone's aware of him now.
Yeah, like everyone knows who he is, because pretty much everyone kept talking about him, and everyone knew who he was before he died anyway.
Yeah.
But I love in the trailer for Halloween Kills when it goes from Laura Strode, I think that's her name, the character's name.
Laurie Strode, yeah.
Yeah, Laura Strode. When she says evil.
Dylan, you still there?
And
oh wait, you cut out for a second.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I was saying, what was the last thing you heard?
The last thing I heard was you making your point. So if you want to start over.
Oh yeah, I was just saying. When she says "Evil dies tonight," and it cuts to Michael killing people, and then it shows, and then it plays the music that you haven't heard that you wouldn't have heard for a long time.
Yeah.
And that just brings back the nostalgia for it.
Yeah. Speaking of nostalgia, right? The Halloween soundtrack, it's got to be one of, I'm not gonna say just one of the most iconic scores ever, and it's one of the most best horror soundtracks, but also one of the best soundtracks ever.
Yeah,
you know,
just in general.
Yeah.
The fact that it was made by John Carpenter himself as well.
Yeah. I think in terms of like horror soundtracks, it's like
probably the most.
Yeah, it's like Jason, and then Freddy, and then on top of that is like Michael Myers. It's anyone who hasn't even hasn't even seen Halloween. If you listen to that, it's like you already get chills, and even if you haven't seen the movie, you just know that that's from Halloween.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, you just literally hear the sound of da 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 da, and you just know.
Yeah, and it's the fact that I'm guessing they didn't have a whole lot of money at the time. I'm not too. Do you know what the budget was for the first Halloween?
The original
Let me Google
budget for Halloween.
Let me Google it.
I was about to say, I'll have to look that up.
Halloween 1978 budget. Let's have a look. Okay, so the budget. Okay, right. This is actually coming back to me because I remember back a few years ago I was writing an analysis for Halloween, and I was writing about this and I never finished it. The budget for the first movie was $300,000, right? And let me have a look at the profit real quick. The profit was $47 million.
That is a lot of money, though. Would you believe me if I told you Halloween, released in 2018, made $255.6 million?
I think at the time it was one of the. I remember back that year, 2018. It was one of the most.
Grossing film.
Yeah, one of the most highest grossing like R-rated movies and highest grossing movies in October or something like that.
Yeah.
which it just shows like it's, you know, like Halloween. It's just so popular, and it's like they only had a budget of like $300,000, right? And then I'm guessing John Carpenter it was just him just making the score, right? And then all of a sudden, I think it was, aside from Texas Chainsaw, because that was very controversial at the time, I think Halloween was that one movie which made other studios think, oh, we can really take on this success. I think that's Halloween spun off all these different slasher movies, you know, like Friday the 13th, just everything.
The best part is about this Halloween movie is that it's the first Halloween movie to have the same actor play Michael twice.
Really?
Yeah, because in both movies, Michael is being played by James Jude Courtney.
Uh-huh. Wait, so...
And with the
go on.
possible assist from Nick Castle, because he played Michael in a few scenes in 2018's movie.
Did he not, have they not got the actor back for who played Michael in the original? Or has he died or something?
I don't think he's dead, but he's gonna be old now.
Yeah. It depends on, like... Yeah, I get what you mean. It's like you want, like, an old actor who's like...
he was played by... Nick Castle. Yeah, that was him.
Oh, really? That's him from the original?
He's the one who played him in the original.
Let's go. I love it when they're keeping, like, consistency like that, you know? It's like, to be fair, you could literally get anyone under the mask. But it's the fact that you want to, like, make the fans happy. You know, you get the exact person.
Yeah.
You know, it's just little things like that. And here's something I wanted to speak to you about, right? It seems very much that Laurie Strode might take a bit of a back seat in terms of the plot of the new one, and it focuses on, like, the granddaughter and maybe, like, the daughter of Laurie Strode. I'm actually okay with that.
I would really enjoy this movie if it had kind of also a focus on Michael as well. Because in the trailer it said the pattern of Michael's kills heads straight to his childhood home.
Yeah.
Which, and I would also really like if, because I mean, I kind of feel a little bit disappointed as well in this, because because back in 2019, Halloween Ends, which is meant to be the sequel to Halloween Kills, was announced. But obviously when COVID came out, they had to postpone both Halloween Kills and Ends.
Yeah.
So we know this Halloween Kills isn't going to end with Michael dying.
Yeah. I get what you mean. I don't think they should have... While it's cool that they announced both of them, I don't think that you should have announced...
decision.
Yeah. It's... Yeah, I get what you mean. It's like... It's cool to know that we're getting another Halloween movie. If it wasn't for COVID, we would have been... A few months' time we've been watching Halloween Ends.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. It's like how last Friday the Batman would have been out.
Yeah. And with Halloween Ends, its release date is scheduled to be the 14th of October 2022.
Uh-huh.
So we'd have to look forward to that. And Halloween Kills is for the 15th of October.
Is that this year? Oh, yeah. Halloween Kills is this year. So back onto the granddaughter and the potential, the mother, like, taking, like, the reins. I'm actually okay with that, because while I think the mum was a bit irritating in the first one, I thought the granddaughter was just okay. If they, like, explore them a bit more and make them, like, a bit more likable, as well as... Yeah,
because I was going to say, in the trailer, you do see Michael, because you see the granddaughter go to stab Michael, but then he turns the knife around on her, and then when she yells, "Do it," and it looks like he stabs her. But I feel like that scene is going to have the grandma or Laurie, either probably axing or just stabbing Michael instead, so that's probably why he, like, lunged in the way he did.
Yeah. Probably. It's like if... Because Laurie Strode's likeable anyway, right? So I feel like if they give them a bit more to do... And, yeah, if they give them a little bit more to do, it'll make them likeable. So if I go back and watch the other movie, I can appreciate other things.
Yeah.
You know, because it's always like Laurie Strode always like the main character. So if she just takes the back seat a little bit for, like, say, the first act and bit of the second act, then the third act she can really get to
in the hospital for like the first part.
Yeah. So I feel like because of that, she'll sort of take a back seat, and then the entire third act, that's when she'll really be redeemed for the plot and just kick ass. Michael's ass.
Yeah.
So I'm actually cool with that, to be fair. And sorry, well.
I know, I was just breathing.
Oh yeah. I was just breathing. This is how I'd really like the movie to end, right? You always see a lot of these movies where Michael loses and he escapes. You don't know where he's gone. He sets up the next one.
Like he seems to be dead, but then you find out in the sequel, nah.
Yeah, I think it'd be really interesting if, as well as a really cool, he has a nap. He just goes to sleep.
He kills out. Everyone thinks he's dead, but he's just inside his house.
He just has a sleep. It's like Halloween kills. The next one is Halloween wakes up. The next one is Halloween brushes his teeth.
Halloween awaken.
Halloween gets ready. Halloween drives to work.
Halloween gets ready for the
But
Halloween gets fine.
This is how I'd really like it to end, right? If Michael somehow wins.
Yeah, like he somehow manages to. Well, I don't think it would win with him killing people, like the characters, but I feel like it would win. It would happen with him surviving, like even on screen.
Yeah.
And with Halloween ending, he just leaves.
Yeah. Or if something does happen, like say for example, something important happens, then it leaves on a cliffhanger rather than Michael, because I don't want the next one to be like Michael's back. What? We thought we killed him. Do you know what I mean?
Where some of them don't even explain how he's still alive.
Yeah. It's like you could just be like, oh, he's evil, so he survived.
Yeah, no, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
And then, that's kind of why I'm kind of a fan of Halloween H2O and Halloween Resurrection.
Oof.
Because they're both the same. It's both intertwined. They're both one's the sequel to the actual movie, and at the end of Halloween H2O, Laurie seems to decapitate who appears to be Michael, but it's later revealed to be a paramedic who had his voice box crushed, and was forced into Michael's clothing so he would escape wearing paramedic's clothes instead. So I kind of hope that's what happens. Like Michael makes someone, like he crushes their voice box so they can't speak, and then he just escapes wearing the clothing of someone else.
Yeah.
Like a paramedic or something like that.
Or just any ending like that, to be fair. Like, I don't want it to just leave on another, oh, Michael's dead. No, he's not actually dead.
Yeah.
I just want them to do something like a really risky ending where, because I feel like if they leave the ending like the rest of them, it'll sort of just feel like another of the same movie.
Just another basic Halloween movie.
Yeah, it's like you might as well just call it like Halloween. Like do something different. You know, make Michael.
Call it Halloween. The futuristic rewatch.
Halloween the remake times 3. Halloween the remake times 3. Timeline 3.
Everything 3.
Yeah, everything. Just Halloween 33. And then the next one have it like Halloween 2049, and it's set in like Blade Runner times. I'd watch that. To be fair.
Halloween 2140.
Michael Myers.
Jason X.
It's retconned. He's actually a Blade Runner. He's actually a replicant. That's why we can't die.
Yeah.
He's actually a replicant this whole time. I'd watch that. To be fair, if it wasn't...
Michael Myers, I think, is the only slasher we've never seen, besides Leatherface, is the only slasher we've never seen in the future.
Yeah. Wait,
we've never seen him on spaceships or anything like that. We've never seen him in space.
And let's keep it that way.
Yeah.
We should...
As evidence shows from other franchises, such as the Leprechaun series and Friday the 13th, movies set in space don't tend out to be the best ones.
Yeah, plus that won't do very well at the box office, you know.
Halloween in space.
Halloween in space. Like Muppets in space. But like, right, real quick, Michael Myers has got to be one of the best horror characters ever, if not the best.
Yeah, because it's I think we have to give a massive round of applause for the person who plays Captain Kirk in Star Trek for actually allowing them to use his face.
Yeah, imagine what a weird phone call that must be. Just like, hello, real quick, can we make a mask of your face and then spray paint over the eyebrows?
They didn't actually make the mask. They just went to a store, bought a mask of Captain Kirk, and just spray painted it white and cut the hair.
Yeah, and they just cut out the eye holes. Yeah, it's just like, oh, hey, real quick, could we, spray paint a mask of your face? Yeah, make it like a serial killer, and then make like, $1 billion franchise on it. Be one of the most You must be like, go on then.
Yeah. Imagine that, Captain. He wouldn't think much of it. He's like, yeah, sure, go ahead.
Yeah.
Then later on, it becomes this popular movie franchise. He's like, those bastards, and they're not giving me any of the cut.
Yeah, imagine at the time it was just like, oh, it just doesn't matter. I don't want any like money from it. Just do whatever you want. Like, imagine if he was just like, yeah, I want, you have to pay me to have the rights to have my face.
And he's just like, nah, just go on.
What was it, William Shatner? That was his name, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so, William Shatner, I think that was his name.
It's like how, that's just very, that's cool how they just went to a store and just be, oh, this mask looks cool, let's use it for our killer.
Yeah, William Shatner.
It's like in Scream, where they were, who's the director behind Scream? Wes Craven. Wes Craven.
Yeah, Wes Craven.
He was in a shop one day and he saw the Ghostface mask and he was like, oh, this looks cool, let's put it in my movie. I think that's really cool.
And now it's become one of the most popular masks in movie history.
Yeah, it's like...
I think the most popular masks in movie history are most of the time just ones they've just decided... They just found in a shop and they're like, yeah, this'll do.
Yeah, it's like Jason, that's instantly recognizable. It's like...
Just a hockey mask.
It's like loads of times I've seen in other movies where someone would wear like a hockey mask and a random character would be like, yo, he's wearing a Jason mask. Or it's just Jason, Michael Myers, and just Ghostface, If you want to make a successful horror movie and you're like a filmmaker who doesn't have a whole lot of money, just go to a store, pick up any random mask that you think is scary, and then boom.
And then literally just you could just change it.
Hang on, you cut out for a second, what'd you say? Dylan? I think your Discord's cutting out. Yeah, what were you saying?
Yeah, I was just saying that literally all they do is just change a few little things on it, and then there you go. You got an iconic, memorable mask.
Yeah, like it seems very like low budget, And I'm not saying that in a bad way. It's like how the first Evil Dead, it was just that they basically just got a director in his 20s and his friend Bruce Campbell went out into the woods and just made a film like with like no money or anything, and now it's like That's how I see like the first Halloween, Scream, everything. It seems very. It's like they had a lot of fun with it. There wasn't any studio restraints.
Yeah, because in most of the time, the movies would have been shot like in actual locations instead of studios.
Yeah. Yeah. Nowadays.
Even nowadays, movies are still shot in real locations.
Yeah. I think what comes down to it is that in the olden sort of movies, they just got a very grainy look to it. Stuff that just makes it look old. I think it's like murky sort of camera shots. Like nowadays, it would just be very like high budget cameras. And while that's not bad, I'm just saying like a very like like The Thing. Like if that was made in like today, it would be like very big CGI creature, and instead of practical effects and stuff.
Yeah.
That's what makes it so good. And while the new Halloween it seems very like I want to say this without offending anyone who's excited for the movie. It's very it looks like it's sort of going back to its roots, but mostly it's very big slasher based. Michael's not. It's very emphasized on the gore and the blood and everything, and I'm gonna have to accept that. And what it is executed well. I'm not gonna say it's ruined the franchise or anything. It is executed well, and in the trailer, it does. There is a lot of really good, like, kills and stuff in there. Like, they didn't show a whole lot of kills in the trailer. They showed some, and just little glimpses of what Michael does. Like, it's enough to make you excited, but also enough to make you wanting more.
Yeah.
And if there's another trailer, I will not watch it. For that reason alone, I do not want... If it's like, I was really excited about It when it came out in 2017. Right? I watched every TV spot, I watched every little thing, and there was like one scare that they didn't put in the trailers. And that's why I will not be watching any more trailers after this. I did that with the first one. I watched one trailer and never watched the rest of them.
Yeah.
But like right now, it is...
Honestly, all I think we needed was this one trailer.
Yeah, I don't think we need any more than this. We got a nice little tease back mid last year, which I think was really cool.
Yeah.
By the way, that was one of the best teasers I've ever seen. The fact that they're on this truck on the way to some hospital, just like, oh, we did it.
And the fire is going
yeah,
past them.
and then they're going, no, let it burn, let it burn.
So they're saying like, because they're yelling like, let him burn.
Yeah, it's the fact that they're just like, you kidding me? You would be gutted though, wouldn't you? You'd be like, oh my god.
Yeah, like you've just gone through all that to try and kill him, and then it's just eventually, like your efforts are being completely undermined now.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that is going to be the direct opening scene. That would be a great opening scene. Imagine just like, you watch the last movie, it's like, yes, they got Michael. Oh, maybe he's got out, baby. I don't know. Let's watch the next one. And it's them just on the way home, and it's just like, oh crap. And then Michael breaks out and kills all the firemen, and then boom, he's out on the loose again.
Yeah.
Like, just so good. I'm just really hoping that I'm pretty sure they're going to do Laurie Strode justice, because her character arc so far has been really good. You like the trauma of her and Michael, and I think that's going to carry on well into this one. Plus, I think the relationships with her other family members is going to be a bit stronger, because the entire life of them is just, they're pretty sure that they've been like living a lie. It's just like, oh well, the big man's not real, she's just being paranoid, it was just one thing, Michael's not coming out. And then now that she was right this whole time, you're going to see their relationship evolve a little bit.
Yeah, because I mean, because in the 2018 movie, her whole family dismissed her. That for the last few decades.
Yeah.
She had been preparing for Michael's return.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, no, you're crazy old woman. He's never getting out. He's in prison. They're going to be transferring him to a maximum security prison. And then he breaks out.
Yeah.
And then everything she said would happen happens.
Yeah.
He killed people. He literally came for Laurie.
Yeah.
That was his whole reason. He wanted to kill her.
I think why her character arc was so strong in 2018 version, right, is because she's a completely different character all these years later. She's like, that one night, like, traumatized the shit out of her. And think about it, right, go to the third act of the first movie.
It would traumatize anyone.
Yeah, but it's like she was a very sweet person, and then now she's like a groucho lady, and he just doesn't give a shit, and she just fucking hates everyone. And she's been preparing herself. Her, like, that one night ruined the rest of her entire life, pretty much. And if you think about it, the third act of the original was Michael hunting her, and then that, like, it's the parallel of the new one where it's she's hunting Michael.
Yeah.
Which I think is really cool. And I don't have a doubt that they're gonna mess up her character arc, because that's been really strong.
Yeah. It is possible.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure the granddaughter's gonna take the spotlight mostly in this one. To be fair, they're sort of like passing down the mantle sort of thing, you know. I think she's basically gonna be like a version, like a reflection of like a Laurie's younger self, kind of, you know.
In a way, possibly, yeah. I feel like she's probably meant to be like Laurie when she was younger. Yeah.
And I like that, to be fair. I like how she's basically there to basically teach everything she knows on Michael to her, basically. You know, she's basically the audience. You know what I mean? In, like, learning things.
Yes, I know what you mean.
And I think that reason alone, I think she's gonna be a big factor in the upcoming one, which I'm really excited for. It's just the concept of the opening scene. It's just the firefighters like taking out the fire on the house, and Michael just breaking out and just murdering everyone. You know, I just, it's a concept, and I'd really hope to do some really cool twist on it as well. I don't want this to be just another of the same movie. And while the last one and the original, they're very, very similar, I feel like if they do this one different in some ways, like it's not just people looking for Michael.
Like, do this one right.
Yeah. I feel like they are going to do this one justice, though. I feel like they are. There was just a few things I did not like about the last one. And movies have issues, you know? Like, I don't want to expect every...
No movie is...
Yeah, no movie is, like, absolutely perfect.
To be a perfect movie.
Yeah. Well, I can list a few movies, like The Lighthouse, Blade Runner 2049. I think they're pretty perfect. Aliens, The Shining. But I'm not going to walk into every movie and expect everything to be perfect, right? Some things work for some other people, and some things don't work for... You know, that's fine. That causes discussion about things. You know?
Yeah.
And I want to be surprised as well. I don't want just, like, walking into everything and just being like, oh, that's not what I wanted to happen. You know, it's like with WandaVision. I know you don't keep up with Marvel stuff, but everyone was just like, oh, well, Mr. Fantastic didn't have a cameo at the end, or they didn't have Magneto from the X-Men movies. That would ruin the show. That would just be nonsensical out of nowhere. While that would be cool to watch, would that work with the rest of it?
It's like that how there's plenty of flaws in The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Like, there was some scene I didn't agree with, like when Ahsoka Tano is dueling that one lady with who has a Beskar spear. I'm thinking, how is she somehow skilled enough to keep up with Ahsoka Tano, who dueled people like Darth Vader and Darth Maul? Yeah.
Well, I'd argue that it's live action, and, you know, people aren't going to do, like, loads of little flips like in animation, because in animation... You could do so many... Yeah, you could do whatever you want in fights. People can just flip. You were like, alright, I'll just get a 3D model and flip it. But in real life, it's just... That's...
But it's like...
Yeah.
But I know, but that still just really annoys me how somehow she's able to keep up with her.
Yeah, I get what you mean, though.
In fact, I know we're meant to be talking about Halloween trailer, but speaking of Star Wars, have you heard about this whole debacle with the Slave One? I
think it's stupid, to be fair.
Yeah. So they've now officially changed, or they're going to try and officially change the name to Boba's gunship.
Starship,
that's it.
Well, I kind of get where Disney's coming from, but, like, obviously it's a spaceship and it's not a slave. It's just the name of the ship.
Okay, but that's the thing. That's what I don't understand. So it's called the Slave One, and so that's offensive. Alright, so good luck changing Death Star, Starkiller Base.
I think it's just these times, you know, it's just something people will go online and be like, oh, it's called the Slave One. I know exactly where this originated from.
Where did it originate from?
Well, okay, I collect Lego Star Wars quite a bit, right? And they always... Yeah, they always change the name. So it's like, I brought the Razor Crest set. I'm literally looking at it right now. And they it wasn't called the Razor Crest, it was like the Bounty Hunter Transport, and...
Yes!
Yeah.
They're calling it they're calling it, a Bounty Hunter Starship, that's what they're calling it.
It's like, it's just a box art. You could take it out and still call it the Slave One. It is, say if, for example, Disney started referring to the Razor Crest as just the Mandalorian Starship, you'd still call it the Razor Crest, wouldn't you?
Yes, I would.
Yeah, it's like
It's like the same way it's like I'm never gonna stop calling it the Slave One.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna stop calling Star Destroyers.
Yeah,
I'm never gonna stop calling them what they are.
It's like, it is the Slave One, they're just not referring to it as the Slave One anymore. It's like, why can't people just grow up and be like, oh yeah.
No, No. I can guarantee you this is how it all started. Some random Karen went into a store with her kid. They wanted to get a Lego Star Wars set, and they picked up one that said the Slave One, and then she saw it had slave on it, and instantly went to Twitter saying Star Wars like slavery or something like that.
Yeah, someone's gonna write in a complaint at this point.
Yeah, someone's writing a complaint to fucking Disney saying this shouldn't be, even though the Slave One was named long before Disney took the name to Star Wars.
Some Karen's gonna be watching this and be like, oh, I'm gonna write in and complain.
Yeah, they're gonna complain to YouTube headquarters.
They're gonna go in the comment section. This is unbelievable. Cancel.
Yeah, like they're gonna go to a report video, and they're gonna put like, what's the reason? Harassment. How are they harassing you? Because they said I'm a Karen.
They said my name that I was born with.
Yeah.
Oh. But like, yeah, I get what you mean. But back to Halloween for a split second, right? I'm glad that we've covered that controversy, right? Even though it's something to do with Halloween, you know, it's relevant. It looks very much the same as the last one, but if they change a few character things and then change a few plot points to make it unique than other ones, then this will be a darn good Halloween movie. I can just picture this in like top 10 Halloween movies, this being like number 1 or number 2.
Yeah, this one, I feel like this one has the potential to become either the best or the second best, just under the original.
Yeah, I reckon it would be like original, this one, maybe
Halloween Kills, Halloween 4, maybe Halloween 2.
Yeah, like up in like one of the best. You know, like
yeah.
I'm glad that they're like they're going back and like they're rewriting these new series of films to basically, you know, it's because Michael's timelines are very jumbled up. Like that's why I only really love the first one, because I heard all the rest are just it's jumbled up, right? And you basically it's like a clean slate now.
Yeah, like Halloween 2018 is meant to be the new direct sequel to the original.
Yeah, and I think it looks great. I do think it looks really good. I'm really excited to see it. I remember back when in 2018 I was 17. I wasn't old enough to get in, and I formulated like a full-on plan with my friends because I didn't actually get in. One of them was like was 18. We had like a full-on plan to get in, and then like the day before we're like, all right guys, and then it was all of my friends were just like, no, we're not gonna get in. So everyone else just pussied out, and I was sort of just like, oh, so I never got to see it in cinemas. I had to wait until March when it was on Blu-ray. Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
I know, but I did sneak into Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Do you know how I did it?
Oh. How?
Dude, it was a genius plan, basically, right? It was me, my dad, and my sister. Okay, I hope Odeon Cinemas isn't watching this, but they're gonna bring a device and hold it up to my eyes and make me unsee the movie. But what happened is that
they're gonna bring in the memory wiping pen
from Men in Black. Yeah. Okay, you didn't see this movie. Whoa. And what do I?
You didn't see this movie.
It's that what movie? Oh crap! We made him forget every single movie in existence. Shit. But it's what happened, right? I bought a ticket for The Lion King.
What's a movie?
What's a movie? Yeah, well, I only know
the
what.
New one.
Yeah. Oh, you mean a film? Ugh. But I brought a ticket for The Lion King, and my dad, my sister, and he brought us 3 tickets to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, right? They went in, and they didn't show them the other ticket. I went to The Lion King, right? And as I sat in, I left to go into theirs.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
and I sat down.
Yep.
I mean, if anyone ever asked, I'd be like, oh, we've got a ticket, right? But I got in, right? And literally less than 2 minutes later, the advert stopped, and it went all white on the screen, and all the lights came on, and they're going, oh, shit, they know, this camera's fuck, I'm gonna get pulled out, right? And I just sat there frozen, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get pulled out, right? They know. And out of, like, literally, like, less than, like, 30 seconds later, all the lights went back down, and then the movie started playing. I was like, thank God. I was really like, you would be, wouldn't you? You would be like, oh crap, I'm gonna get kicked out.
Yeah, honestly, you probably would. I would probably think, oh shit.
I froze up. I did not dare to look behind me. I was like, I love this cinema. I don't want to get kicked out. I was scared. Dude, I was I kid you not, right, I was humming the Mission Impossible theme to myself as I was walking from the Lion King through the lobby to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I was going like, I was full on. Oh my god. But I watched it though. Like, the entire time I was occasionally looking behind me just in case, but like halfway through the movie I was like, I'm good, no one's gonna come in.
Little slight glances over your shoulder.
Yeah, I was. Like, up until the second act, I'm just like, nah, no one's coming in, I can sit down and enjoy this.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's how I snuck it in, so I don't have to sneak into Halloween anymore. I could have shown my ID and get in.
Yep.
So there's that. Is there anything else you want to touch upon?
Nothing I can really think of that comes to mind.
Me neither. I like how we've gone over the trailer, bits of 2018, and sort of the legacy of the first one and Michael Myers. So we basically could. This is like the Halloween theme. I might as well just hold off recording this until, you know, October. I'll just hold off.
Yeah.
But still call it episode 21 when I just upload like more podcasts before this. So you'd be like, oh, 21?
Like, you get up to like episode. You get up to like episode like 29 or 30, and then you release episode 21.
Yeah, everyone else is thinking like, oh, is episode 50 going to come out soon? Just like, oh, 21.
I don't think it would make much. I don't think it would make much sense to release it later on. Considering.
Obviously. I could just come out and be like, oh, it's not told in chronological order. This podcast isn't canon to the rest of them.
this podcast is like Halloween 2018.
Yeah, it's a different timeline. You can still enjoy the other ones, but this isn't canon to that one. You know, it's a new timeline. But yeah, I think we're about ready to wrap up.
Yep, no P in that one.
Let's go. Yeah, we're gonna wrap up. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Dylan, I need to include you more in more casts. You know, that'd be fun.
Yep.
Yeah, I love.
It's specifically on movie.
Yeah, I know, dude. Like any horror movie, I'm gonna bring you in.
Yep.
You know, when Candyman comes out, you and me, you go watch that, I'll go watch it. We'll sit back together.
Yeah. Yeah, they're making because they're releasing a new Candyman movie, aren't they?
Yeah, a new Candyman trailer came out a few days ago.
Oh, I didn't see it. That.
Oh, did you?
Candyman
cast? Candyman cast?
Candyman cast.
Candyman.
Next week, maybe. Tomorrow.
Casty man. Well, I'll get back to you on that. So thank you guys so much for watching, and
yep, that's the man.
Yeah, see you guys in a bit.